Hello, everyone. I'll just give a couple of seconds for the live stream to kick in. I know sometimes the sync between me talking and the audio takes a few seconds to adjust, so hopefully we're there now. Welcome to the next episode of the Daily Sib, where this week we've been live streaming. I say we, yesterday it was just me, but today I've got a guest I'm going to bring on in a moment, but I just wanted to add to yesterday's point very quickly that it's been interesting learning about new technologies and how they connect people. And thanks to Harry, Hugo, and the guys at the GOAT agency, I've found this thing called StreamYard, which is enabling me to live stream to you at the moment. But also, as I mentioned before, to bring in a guest. So without further ado, I'll click this little button. And there he is. Hello, Chris.
Hi there.
Everything
how you doing? Right? Yeah, pretty
good.
good.
I mean, me and you talk. We talk every day, multiple times about work, so it's not unusual for us to have a bit of a conversation, a catch up. But it'd be nice for people watching. First of all, give a little bit of background info about you and your role at Horizons, if that's all right.
Yeah. I'm Chris, and I work as the partnerships manager for Disability Horizons. Basically, I'm trying to connect Disability Horizons as a business with other potential partners to create revenue streams to push forward our larger social mission. Fantastic work, interesting job.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, for those that have followed what's gone on, Horizons has gone on since 2011. Myself and Shrin and Liz back in day dot were like, how do we get a community built with articles and social media, which we've done a grand job, particularly Liz leading the charge. But it's been, how do we have a sort of sustainable model that now me and you, Chris, and Liz can do it as a job, not only a voluntary community initiative. And there's always, it's in our hearts, and I think we've always enjoyed running the mag as a community initiative, but we've realized there's a lot of need on the business side for support and to connect that with the community. I mean, what's your take been? How long have you been working on Horizons now?
That's a couple of years now, I think, since
it
was kind of I was with Disability Horizons before Accommable, the travel company, started, and then I had my time with Accommable while that was growing, and then eventually that went to sold to Airbnb, which was amazing really for accessible travel. And I found myself back with Disability Horizons, and I think that was a couple of years ago now.
A couple of years. And so how have you sort of seen it go from very minimal engagement with partners to where we've sort of got to more recently?
It's grown hugely. I mean, as our idea of what the Disability Horizons community is as an asset and what the wider disabled community can do, I think our vision for DH has grown, and the kind of the avenues and the various things that we can offer businesses have definitely grown, and the interest has been ramping up to quite an extent, particularly over the last 6 months or so, really. But I think that's a testament to the hard work that everyone's put in over the last kind of year and a half, really creating a noise. And
we've definitely seen a shift, haven't we?
And I think we're hitting kind of there's definitely a bit of a movement starting in regular business where they want to be more inclusive. They want to represent their customer base a bit better, and that's where we can help.
Absolutely.
Really, and I think that's what I've seen as the magazine's evolved from its first mission, which was to help the wider disabled public, to pushing that agenda further through the other side of the business, through businesses, really. It's just grown, really.
I was going to say, beyond the kind of community magazine, community initiative, and beyond your role, particularly with partnerships and businesses and brands, as an individual with a disability, what, prior to the craziness of the world at the moment, have been a couple of things that really matter to you in terms of inclusion?
It's opportunity, I think. I've seen things change drastically throughout my life, with beginning with segregation in education, just doors shut in my face with work, with job opportunities.
It's kind of like apartheid, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Obviously, we know it's not race, but there is a segregation of disabled people.
Totally. I mean, I knew disabled people with master's degrees and PhDs that were sitting at home watching Loose Women, which is like ridiculous waste of a resource.
Yeah.
There's assistive technology. There's ways for these people to be an asset to any business, and that's kind of, I think, the thing I've seen changing, which is fabulous, really.
And where we are at the moment, I mean, it's your call where you want to take your answer, but with the virus, but also around the consequences of the virus, what are your kind of feelings and thoughts on it at the moment?
I was definitely worried that it would push the agenda for disabled people back, because we've struggled a lot to push the perception of the public towards the social model, that society creates the barriers, and that if society was more accessible and accepting, their perceptions were better, our disabilities would virtually disappear, really, because it's society that creates the barriers. And I could see at the beginning of this the label vulnerable, and the perception and the media coverage would push everyone's thoughts around disability back towards poor disabled people, and it's all about their condition, rather than what they can do. But I definitely think there's things we can teach the general public, because a lot of disabled people have been home working for years, so we've
us, right?
We've got a head start on how to cope with this kind of thing. I mean, the isolation.
No need to wear trousers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Comfort your own home.
Top off, yeah.
Just don't stand up, Chris.
Yeah. Don't reverse, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're right, Dave, that there's a risk of some things going backwards. But like, I read the slides that the GOAT agency shared on LinkedIn yesterday about general sort of cultural and media changes within the new world that we are finding ourselves in, and they were saying that it's speeding up the changes of people going more online, more flexible working, different ways of creating content, consuming content. And I felt that was quite synonymous really with disability, that in some ways this being able to work at home and connect, and we had a family quiz last night over Zoom, these sort of things were far easier for me to engage and interact in than the sort of barriers that you've talked about around going out, getting in other people's houses. So I don't want us to end up only being indoors because the world's not accessible. But I do think that, as you say, there are bits of this particular moment that we've got more experience on than the mainstream at the moment.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that. I mean, for sure. We know we're used to the kind of technology that's being used and how to structure your day and still get some work done, because, home is full of distractions.
Totally.
And it takes a little time to get your head around it. So it's definitely, we have some things that, we've got that are advantages for us, I think.
Definitely. All right, mate. Well, it was lovely to get you as my first guest on the Daily Sib live stream.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
And we'll speak again very soon. And sure. If anyone else is interested, Chris, as he mentioned, is our partnerships manager, and not just brands that are watching, but just anyone that's got questions for Chris, you can write in the comments and get in touch with Chris at disabilityhorizons.com. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
All right, nice one. Thanks a lot, Chris. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Cool. So that went very well. That bit of tech brought Chris into the picture. We could hear him and see him, and pretty chuffed that's all gone well. And it was lovely to introduce you to him. He's a great guy, Chris. He's married with a little baby girl, and yeah, just a really nice guy to work with. We get on very well as friends as well, and lots of interesting stuff, as you just heard about, going on Disability Horizons. So that was awesome. I think that wraps us up anyway for this episode. But as always, do feel free to give some comments and questions for following episodes. If you'd like to be a guest, let me know. I'd love to get interesting people on to have a chat, just like me and Chris just did. And any other ideas and formats, I'm always open for that. And yeah, please do subscribe, like, share, all the rest of it on this YouTube channel. And obviously feel free to share the link on your other channels as well. So until tomorrow's episode of the Daily Sib, I will catch you then. Bye-bye for now.